Good morning. Well, we're back to working in the shop here. We've got our disc ripper project that we're kind of waiting for parts on. I got a couple little things we can do until we get some parts, but I'm trying to figure out what to do about a tire and tracking one of those down, which is not super easy, but yeah, a few odds and ends and other things going on today. I don't know, we'll see what we can get into. Well, I called about a tire, and depending on whether we want to match these exactly or just the same size, depends on how much they cost, but we're somewhere between $650 and $1,000 for that tire. So I'll talk to Dad and Phil, see what they want to do, and we'll get one coming, I guess. We got to take this jack apart because I broke it the other day, so we're going to work on that this morning. Looks like she needed cleaned up anyway. You can see where we broke the pin here, so we're gonna pull that out of there, see if we've got a pin that will work, and we should be able to put it right back in, and then it should be fine. But we'll clean it up good. Look at that, good as new. Can't see anything, can you? Well, we got a new roll pin in there. There you go. So we'll put a little fresh grease in, put the cap back on, good to go. All right, now that that's done, I think while we've got the grease gun out, we'll go ahead and grease it. I believe there is a grease zerk on every shank. Come on, focus. It's there. Is that the only one? I think so. It's just that one. And then there is one on each hub on the wheels. We gotta pick the dirt out to get to them, but they're in there. And that's it. There aren't any on the disc gangs. I don't believe there's any in these wheel pivots that I'm aware of. Anyway, there's nothing on the mainframe pivots. Those are all sealed. They're plastic bushings. Yeah, pretty low maintenance as far as greasing goes. Although it would be nice if those hubs on the rear disc blades had a grease zerk in them, wouldn't it? And I know that after yesterday's video, a lot of you are already commenting about drilling a hole in there. A couple of issues with doing so. One, I don't think there's enough room to drill it in there. You probably could get it done, but you're going to just about destroy these taking them apart. Trying to put them back together then is going to be a challenge. But might be worth a shot. The other thing is a grease zerk out here is going to be rotating into dirt all the time. You're going to wear that tip out every single year. You're going to have to put new ones in. It's going to be a ton of wear, and if you break it off, then it lets dirt directly into the bearing through the grease chamber rather than at least having to try and make it past a seal. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be. It would be great if there was a grease zerk there, but I think it would be risky trying to put one in there because of the potential for allowing dirt straight into the bearings. So, yeah. But as bad as they are, it couldn't hurt to try it, right? I don't know. We'll see. I have been labeling them and writing on them, you know, when they're new or when we're putting stuff on so that I can keep track. And if we start having issues with the same ones over and over, like the ones that I'm replacing now, I have to replace again in a year or two, then we find a different solution. My current theory is that they actually had a bad batch of seals or something on the new ones when this was built. And once we get them all replaced, hopefully we stop having so much trouble. I don't know if that's the case or not, but we'll see. Okay, well, we've got it greased, fixed my jack. We're kind of waiting on parts at this point, so here's what we've got left to do. We'll start up front. We've got a hook coming for our safety chain. I don't know when we'll get that, probably next week. So we've got to put that on yet. That's not critical. It will run without that. Okay. We are waiting on one of these bolts for the disc gang over there on that outside wing. We put the pieces on yesterday, but I was short a bolt. I should get that today, hopefully, here, and then we can tighten this up. We also should today get the spring that we need for these two scrapers to hold them together. It goes like this. One down there broke the hook, so that's what we're waiting on there. Tire. We're waiting on figuring out what to do with the tire. Our ripper points and everything's... Oh, we need to flip those. Okay, that's what we can do now. And then we are waiting on our hubs for that, and we are waiting on seal kits for these cylinders. We might get our seal kit today to do one of them, probably not both of them. So, and then the hubs probably tomorrow before we're going to get those. So that's what it is. But on our ripper shanks, our points, we run 360 bullet points. They do a pretty nice job. We like those. They're not worn out yet. They're getting some wear on them, but they're not worn out, so we'll keep running them. However, these shins, see there's a big wear spot right here. Can you see that very good? Not really. But anyway, it's worn really bad right here. But these are reversible. You can flip them. So we got to knock these roll pins out, flip it over, and put it back on, and then it will wear. Because this spot will be up here, and get some more life out of them. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Yeah. You see how it's really thin right there? Yeah. So we need a roll pin, punch, and a hammer. Here is that shin. There's our roll pins. And this whole purpose is to protect the shank, right? We don't want to wear through this. This piece is expensive. This piece is, I mean, it's a wear piece. It's not cheap, but they're cheaper than replacing the whole shank. So we take it and we flip it over, and it should fit. And now we got a new spot to wear on. One done. 8 to go. Well, I got them all changed or flipped, except for this one. This one had a hole in it, and it broke when I was flipping it. So we're gonna have to get a replacement there. Oh, good. There's a part number right there. Other than that, they're all okay. All right. Well, I can't do much more on that disc ripper until we get our parts. So we're going to go drive around. I'm going to try and do a little seed sales here this morning. But we're going to end up at Berkey. Dad's down there working on the electrical for that burner. So I'm going to just check in, see if he needs any help, wants any help. Plus, I need to make a trip to Lowe's to get some stuff for my house, which I'm going to look at right now. But one last note, just reading through your comments on today's YouTube video, or yesterday's, and stuff on that. And yeah, those hubs, that's a terrible design from John Deere. I'm trying to make them better and seal them up and do what I can. But at the same time, it's just a poor design to start with. Now, whether they were a bad batch of seals from the factory to begin with or not, I don't know. That's kind of my theory. I've tried complaining to John Deere about them being terrible, and well, they don't seem to care. There's also no aftermarket stuff available. I've tried finding an aftermarket solution, have been unable to do so. So we'll figure that one out. But and as far as the tool as a whole goes, somebody made a comment about it being a maintenance nightmare, and well, yeah, but think about the conditions that this thing runs in, right? So this is our primary tillage tool. It gets pulled across 1,500 to 2,000 acres a year, generally in really wet, crappy conditions. Especially the last few years in the falls, they've just not been conducive to doing fall tillage, so we're pulling it through mud. A lot of times it's cold, there's often snow or a little frost in the ground. It gets used in very rough circumstances. So it is going on 5 or 6 years old now. It's actually been a pretty good tool, and most of what we're doing is all original stuff. So I can't complain about it too much. It is time to do a little bit more maintenance to it, you know, flipping those shims and disc gang stuff that it's to the point where it's going to wear out. So anyway, I'll see you down to Berkey in a little bit. All right, we've made it down here to Berkey. I've got a little project we got to work on and stuff, and we'll check in on Dad here in a second. But he's getting some conduit run, getting stuff up to the new burner there, and we're going to get everything wired in. So mostly right now it's just running conduit. He hasn't started pulling any wires yet. So you guys may have seen yesterday, I think I told you that we're getting some 28 in, and well, we're going to plant a bunch of wheat down here at our Berkey farm this fall. At least that's the intention, and we use 28 as our nitrogen source on wheat. So most of it, or half of it, is going to get used here, and not at Waldron, which is, there's like 35 miles difference. So it makes sense for them to deliver it here because it's coming from this direction anyway, versus hauling it all up to Waldron, putting it in our tanks, and then we have to haul it all back here when we need it. So we're going to try and do that, at least with one semi-load we're going to be able to store here. Now, the problem is we don't have a lot of tanks here. So we've got these two that sit outside to collect our rainwater, and while we could put 28 in them, we're not super comfortable doing that because, well, there's no containment. If they had a leak, we'd have problems, and just, we don't want to do that. So we do have some other options though. Inside here, we have this tank. That's a 2,500 gallon tank that is in a containment dike that if it got a leak, we would catch it and be able to recover it. We typically have just had water in this tank, but we can put 28 in there. So we've got it emptied, and they can come and fill that one up when they're ready to do so. A semi-load of 28, though, is roughly 4,500 gallons. So that leaves us with 2,000 gallons. What are we going to do with it? Well, just so happens we store our tender trailer down here. And we have a 2,000 gallon tank on the back and a 1,600 gallon on the front. And while I don't want to fill this front one because of where the landing gear is in relation to that, I don't want the whole thing going flopping forward. We can fill the back tank no problem. And so we'll fill that tank inside. We'll put as much in that one as we can, and then if there's a little bit left over, we can put it in this front tank and hold a semi-load down here. Problem is they have to be able to get to this to fill it, and so we need to pull it outside. So we've got to drop the grain trailer, hook up the tender trailer, pull it outside, and then we can have it ready for them to fill it. Okay, this is our old truck. It's an old International, and apparently the doors just randomly open on you. Let me get that. This is a 96. It's actually our low mileage truck. It's only got 540,000 miles on it, but it gets stuck in driveways. As you can see, there's our power divider right here. What's going on? What the heck? The brake's off. There we go. Oh, one of them. I've got a brake stuck. Dang it. We gotta fix that. There's a puddle under there, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's water and stuff draining out of that pump. You can see it dripping. We pulled the plug out of it to drain it for winter, and there's still just a little bit in there. So this one, the trailer always takes a while to air up to let the brakes off of it. They stick sometimes too, so we're gonna let it sit here for a minute before we try and pull it out. We are right now gonna close this valve and this valve, so that we don't lose a bunch if they do fill, when they do fill it. Dad's getting our conduit run here. So we've got our control panel that we took out of our old grain shed, putting here. Hold on, he's talking to me. Anyway, so he's getting conduit run. We've got to come down into this box here. We've got to put a temperature sensor in there. Then the big one's going over to the three-phase panel. All of those run outside. Got to go up to the burner, and yeah, we're getting there. So I'm gonna go see if my truck will move yet, and then we've got to run to Lowe's and to get some lunch. We got it. We can close our door. I just got back to the farm here at Berkey like an hour after I left, and our fertilizer's here. Good thing we got that truck out and got everything ready. No, I called him when we got it ready, and he said, all right, well, I'll send him over. So yeah, worked out. Well, we got the fertilizer, the truck's empty. The back tank on the trailer here is full, and he put maybe 50 gallons at the most into the front tank. So we can put this back in the barn. We're back. Let's go check our parts barn. Oh yes. I think that's all mine. Okay. Well, here we've got some new bolts for these ones that are super worn out on the closing discs hubs. And that one's not horrible. Better than this one. Yeah. so we're replacing those. I think this one here actually needs to get replaced. Okay, there's that. The other ones will have to wait till we get the hubs. What else did we get? Our cylinder seal kit, that's going to have to wait because I don't have time today. Here's our bolt and washer that we need for that disc mount. These two bolts are actually for the big tractor, the 9R. Let's see. Washers, are these all the same? I think they're the same. Two of them, no, all four of these, they are the same. They go with those, along with these two nuts. This one goes with that one, and what's in here? Another hitch pin. These are not, yesterday when I was up there, I pulled the hitch pin off the rack and said, I might need this, but I'm not sure if it's the right one long enough. And I said, write this number down so that I can call you, when I call you and tell you I need it, you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, it wasn't that one, but that's okay. Those will work. Those are going to replace our bent pins that go in here. The one that my kid had hung on our thing over here, but we kind of bent this one up. It goes in here. So I got those other ones to replace that. And we got our spring for our disc blades. So good. We can get this installed and we can get this bolt installed. So this gang wants to pivot a little bit. So I had to hook up a ratchet strap to the front and pull it back to get the bolts in and everything lined up all right. Now let's see if I can tighten that down or if I gotta get a wrench. I think it'll hold the heads on the bottom. All right, well, we got that in there. Got it tight, so there's one more thing done. We didn't get that spring on yet. That's the only other thing we can work on that cylinder too, so. But I got to go. So today happens to be the last day of our local county fair, the Williams County Fair, Ohio County, which is not the one that I grew up going to because I was on the Michigan side. And our fair, Hillsdale County, starts in another week and a half. They're very late. But our church that I go to is in Williams County, and we're serving milkshakes tonight, the county dairy producers milkshake stand. So I have to go scoop ice cream for the next few hours. So I'm gonna go do that. Once again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. Go get yourself some Waldron Farms merchandise from farmfocus.com. Link in the description and on my website. And yeah, we'll probably see you tomorrow. We'll be working on this. We might be running around doing some seed stuff tomorrow. It's kind of the last day to get some stuff done here. So yeah, it's going well. And we might start spraying wheat stubble here. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, I don't know. But tillage next week. So it's exciting. Everybody have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later.